In the remote village of Msingi, nestled where the red earth meets the endless horizon of the African savanna, and ancient jungles murmur forgotten secrets, a legend both revered and feared has taken root. Here, where tradition and mysticism are as intertwined as the gnarled roots of centuries-old baobabs, no figure is as enigmatic as Dr. Lwazi, the village doctor whose methods with newborn babies have shocked outsiders and stirred fierce debate among his people. Dr. Lwazi, a man of quiet intensity and deep conviction, has long been the custodian of Msingi's healing arts. With gentle hands and eyes that seem to reflect both sorrow and ancient wisdom, he is known for employing rituals passed down through generations, a blend of medicine and mysticism that defies modern understanding. His practices, particularly those involving the village's newest members, are as controversial as they are secret, drawing both admiration and trepidation from the villagers. It is said that many centuries ago, during a time when Msingi was besieged by plagues and mysterious misfortunes, the ancestors discovered that the pure, unblemished souls of newborns carried a rare energy. This sacred force, if properly harnessed, could summon the protective spirits of old to shield the village from calamity. Dr. Lwazi, the heir to this ancient knowledge, embraced the duty with both pride and an ever-present heaviness in his heart. On nights when the moon is full and its silvery light bathes the land in an ethereal glow, the ritual begins. The ceremony is held in a clearing at the edge of the jungle, a place where the veil between the living world and the realm of spirits is said to be whisper-thin. Villagers gather in a tight circle, their faces illuminated by flickering torchlight and filled with a mix of hope, reverence, and a deep unspoken dread. At the heart of the ceremony stands Dr. Lwazi, dressed in ancient ceremonial robes that have been worn by healers for generations. With deliberate care, he cradles a newborn in his arms, a tiny life whose innocence is both a promise and a mystery. The baby is gently placed upon a bed of rare sacred herbs known to bloom only under the full moon's light. These herbs, with their otherworldly luminescence and heady fragrance, are said to carry the blessings of the ancestors. Then comes the moment that leaves many in shocked silence. In a ritual act that seems both brutal and beautiful, Dr. Lwazi produces a finely honed ceremonial blade. With a steady hand and solemn expression, he carefully severs the remnants of the umbilical cord. This act, far removed from any modern medical procedure, is imbued with symbolic power. It represents the release of the newborn spirit from the bonds of the earthly realm, allowing it to commune freely with the ancient guardians of Msingi. As the blade passes swiftly, a palpable chill descends upon the clearing. The wind picks up, carrying with it murmurs that seem to echo the voices of long-departed ancestors. Villagers clutch protective amulets and murmur prayers, their hearts pounding with both relief and terror. It is in this charged atmosphere that the true essence of the ritual is revealed. Dr. Lwazi then anoints the baby with a secret concoction of herbal essences and sacred oils, a mixture known only to the healers of Msingi. As the fragrant oils drip onto the infant's skin, a faint glow begins to emanate from the child. For a fleeting moment, the newborn's eyes flutter open, and those present swear they see a glimmer of ancestral light reflected within them. This miraculous sight is both awe-inspiring and deeply unsettling. The ritual reaches its zenith as Dr. Lwazi intones incantations in a tongue lost to time. His voice, low and resonant, weaves a tapestry of sound that mingles with the rustle of the trees and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. In that moment, the boundaries between the mortal realm and the spirit world blur, and the villagers feel the weight of centuries-old promises and curses hanging in the balance. Some among the crowd weep with joy, convinced that their children are now blessed with the protection of their forefathers. Others, however, watch with haunted eyes, fearful that the act, so raw and primal, might invite forces far darker than they can comprehend. Whispers spread like wildfire. What price must we pay for such power? And are we tampering with life itself? Driven by a need to uncover the truth behind these unsettling rites, a courageous young villager named Ayo decides to follow Dr. Lwazi after the public ceremonies. Under the cover of darkness, Ayo trails the doctor to a hidden sanctum deep within the jungle, a place shunned by most, where the ancient spirits are believed to dwell. The sanctum, encircled by towering baobabs and bathed in the pale light of the moon, exudes an eerie magnetic pull. There, in that secret clearing, Dr. Lwazi performs rites far removed from the watchful eyes of the village. Candles flicker against ancient stone walls, inscribed with cryptic symbols. In the center of the sanctum, a large circle is drawn in the soft earth, filled with intricate designs that pulse with an almost tangible energy. At its center lies yet another newborn, placed gently on a woven mat. Hidden in the shadows, Ayo watches as the doctor's incantations grow louder, his voice rising in a haunting melody that seems to summon the very essence of the past. As the ritual unfolds, the air grows heavy with a supernatural charge. Dr. Lwazi's eyes, normally calm and steady, now burn with an intensity that borders on fanaticism. The newborn begins to emit a faint, otherworldly glow, and for a moment, the child appears suspended between two realms. It is as if the pure soul of the infant is being transformed into a bridge, a conduit for the ancient power that once safeguarded the village during its darkest hours. Ayo, trembling with a mix of dread and wonder, senses that he is witnessing something both miraculous and perilous. The ritual's climax comes when Dr. Lwazi calls upon the ancestral spirits. The night fills with ethereal voices, and spectral light dances across the clearing. In that ephemeral moment, Ayo sees a vision, the past, present, and future of Msingi interwoven into a single tapestry of fate and sacrifice. The spirits whisper of protection, of destiny, and of the inexorable price of wielding such forbidden power. When the ritual finally subsides, the baby lies peacefully on its mat, as if cradled by unseen hands. Dr. Lwazi stands motionless, his face etched with the dual emotions of triumph and melancholy. At first light, he returns to the village, carrying the newborn to a family whose anxious eyes are filled with hope and trepidation. The act is both an offering and a solemn vow. The child is now a living vessel of ancient protection, a link between the mortal world and the divine. In the days that follow, the events of that night become the subject of hushed conversations throughout Msingi. Some villagers celebrate the miraculous vitality of the blessed children, who seem to grow stronger and more resilient than ever before. Others harbor a lingering fear that these rituals may be a double-edged sword, a sacred gift that comes with an inescapable burden. The whispers persist. Is Dr. Lwazi's art a true healing practice, or is it a dangerous meddling with forces that demand a terrible price? As more ceremonies take place, under the watchful gaze of the full moon, the duality of Dr. Lwazi's legacy becomes ever more apparent. His methods, though steeped in ancient tradition, yield results that are as unpredictable as the shifting winds of the savanna. Many of the children who undergo his rites display an inner light and strength that defies the hardships of rural life, becoming symbols of hope for a future safeguarded by ancestral power. Yet, for every child who flourishes, there are those whose lives seem marked by inexplicable misfortune, cursed, as some claim, by the very forces meant to protect them. This profound internal conflict soon divides the hearts of the people of Msingi. To some, Dr. Lwazi is a visionary, a guardian who has unearthed a long-lost art capable of bridging the mortal and the divine. To others, he is a dangerous interloper, tampering with the natural order and inviting chaos upon the land. The community is caught in a relentless struggle between faith and fear, tradition and modernity, a struggle that is voiced in fervent debates during long, sleepless nights. During a communal gathering under the starlit sky, the revered elder Mama Zuri rises to speak. Her voice, though soft and measured, carries the weight of decades. We must remember, she cautions, that every gift is paired with its own burden. Dr. Lwazi's sacred rites may shield our children now, but the spirits demand balance. One day, the scales may tip, and we shall face the consequences of meddling with the essence of life itself. Her words resonate deeply, stirring both hope and anxiety among the assembled villagers. In the weeks that follow, the village of Msingi becomes a place of quiet introspection. Parents, with hearts full of both hope and uncertainty, continue to bring their newborns to Dr. Lwazi for his mysterious rites. Every ritual is an act of faith, a delicate dance with forces unseen, where the boundaries of life and spirit blur. The elders share ancient proverbs, and even the youngest among them learn to respect the fragile balance that has sustained their people for generations. Yet, as time marches on, the controversy surrounding Dr. Lwazi's methods only deepens. Outsiders, drawn by sensational tales and rumors of miraculous cures and chilling sacrifices, begin to trickle into Msingi. Scholars and curious onlookers document the rituals, while skeptics denounce them as relics of a bygone era, dangerous practices that belong to the shadows of superstition. The village, once isolated and unified by its traditions, now finds itself at the crossroads of modern scrutiny and ancient mysticism. Despite the growing attention, Dr. Lwazi remains steadfast in his conviction. Each dawn finds him walking the narrow, dusty paths between the humble huts of Msingi, his face lined with both determination and the burden of legacy. He understands that every ritual, every act of healing, is not merely a medical procedure, but a sacred duty, a link in the long chain of his ancestors, charged with protecting the village from forces that lurk beyond the veil of the visible world. Every year during the festival of the new moon, a time that has come to symbolize both renewal and remembrance, the villagers gather to honor the ancient covenant. Amid the rhythmic beating of drums and the hypnotic dance of firelight, they recount the stories of past rituals, the miracles witnessed and the sacrifices made. These gatherings serve as both celebration and solemn reminder of the delicate interplay between the gifts of life and the shadows of ancient power. In the quiet moments before dawn, when the mist rises over the red earth and the first gentle rays of sunlight illuminate the jungle, the people of Msingi reflect on the path they have chosen. They live with the knowledge that every newborn touched by Dr. Lwazi's hands is not merely an infant, but a beacon of hope, a living testament to a pact made with the ancestors, a pact that promises protection, yet warns of inevitable debt. In the end, the shocking methods of Dr. Lwazi remain a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of ancient, unknowable forces. The newborns, cherished and mystically blessed, carry within them the promise of renewal and the burden of a legacy that stretches back through the mists of time. Their lives, intertwined with the sacred and the profane, embody the eternal struggle between light and darkness, a struggle that defines the very essence of existence in Msingi. Today, as the village endures both prosperity and hardship, its people continue to honor the age-old rituals with a mixture of pride and apprehension. They understand that the path they walk is fraught with both miraculous blessings and the heavy weight of ancient debts. Yet, through it all, they remain united by a common hope. A hope that, in the hands of their enigmatic healer, the fragile flame of life will continue to burn brightly against the encroaching darkness. In the end, every whispered prayer, every tear shed in the quiet of the night, and every beat of the communal drum serves as a reminder that in Msingi, the mystery of life is celebrated even in its most unsettling forms. The shocking acts of Dr. Lwazi may disturb the uninitiated, but for those who understand the true nature of sacrifice and protection, they are a solemn vow, a vow to keep the ancient spirits ever vigilant over the newest, purest souls of their people.